with these last little things.
All right, yo, what's going on? It's the Hooper's Morning Run. This is a very, very special edition, the first of its kind. I hope it don't get too loud from background noise, but my co-host and brother is on vacation right now for his son's third birthday. Shout out to young Sir Stokely. Happy third to you. But you want to show up where you at right
Oh
now,
yeah,
real quick,
yes.
before we get into the show?
So yeah, shout out to everybody this morning that's tuning in. Hope it's not too much noise. We live. Had to go to the court, so yeah.
And with that being said, I'm John W.
It's Fresh X.
And this is the Hooper's Morning Run location remote. Oh, what about a week and a half into the second half of the start of the second half of the season. I want to start with Anthony
Right.
Edwards, who had 42 points last night. He's the third youngest player to score 40 in the NBA game behind LeBron and Kevin Durant. It was LeBron at 19 years, 80 days. KD at 19 and 220. He's at 19, 225. You know, when you get all super technical in there, but they were all 19 years old. Over his last
Yeah.
9 games, we said he was averaging what 25 points, I think it was.
Right. Yeah, about 25, almost 26 points.
And that got him right now. He's in first place for rookie score. I know me personally, I think he's gonna take off for the rest of the year. Especially he's been a starter. How you think first? Do you think he can catch up to LaMelo on the rookie of the year race? Because I don't think it's over now. I think they got to open the ballots back up.
Yeah, for sure. So um, I think it's definitely still enough time for him to catch him, but what Melo has an advantage is how good his team is. And Melo been hooping 26 last night against LeBron, but Charlotte being good and Minnesota not gives him already such a jump, and then just the early season production. But I definitely think if Anthony Edwards continues to average 25, 26 points, maybe pull out some wins, anything can happen. But
All
LaMelo's
right,
definitely
and
still
we were just talking about. Oh no, yeah, he's definitely still number one. But you got to open up. I don't think it's a runaway like people were saying a couple weeks ago. Honestly. And it's not like
right.
Anthony Edwards have been having a productive season. If he's averaging 17 now, or since he's averaging 25 over his last 9, that means he was already averaging about 14, 15, which is honestly good for that's good. That's good production from a rookie.
Exactly. Right.
But like I said, 42 points. I want to kind of give him the hooper of the night. I know it's some other big nights, but you get 42 points like that as a rookie. I kind of got to give it to you.
Real Atlanta.
What you
He
think? You agree?
deserved it.
Now the fact that we were saying it's funny because you kind of know when this started this hot streak.
When did it start up?
It was the Toronto game after he got the dunk on. I don't remember the player's name, but everybody was going crazy saying it was the dunk of the year. But then you had people on NBA Twitter, throwing out his stats for the game. I think he was like 2 for 7 with 9 points, and
Right.
people kind of was like, well, is he gonna be productive with that? And then since then, like I said, he took off ever since then.
Yeah, they just probably try to lay him on a dunker. I think that's what's up because that showed he took it personal. And as a hooper, like he's a hooper for real. He's not just a dunker. He's not just an athlete. So to show that he did take that personal and turn up his game is what's up. And I think Minnesota's using him better too. If I'm not mistaken, he's been inserted into the starting lineup. I haven't watched too many beginnings of Minnesota game, but I think he's in the starting lineup now. So that just helps. If your season's over, why not see what he can give you? And
Right.
25, 26 a game over the last 10, 11 games, yeah, that's it. And efficiency hasn't been bad.
You got Ken. No, right. He has been a fish. You got Kendrick Perkins saying they should build around him, to trade everybody else. I don't necessarily agree with that because Cat and D'Lo still are pretty young. So let's see what you got with the whole team healthy. They haven't been healthy and playing together this year, honestly.
Yeah, I would definitely want to build around those three, but they have to show me that they're gonna be healthy. So I would give them a year together, maybe next year. But if we can't get a good health, especially out of D'Lo, he's most important. Cat's been going through stuff with COVID, but
You're right.
D'Lo, he just always seems to be hurt. So if D'Lo can't get healthy, I'm not gonna lie, I may consider moving him and building around Cat and
Nah,
but
yeah, facts.
I would want to try all three.
Nah, yeah. In fact, that would definitely those are my building blocks though, honestly. Like, health,
Right.
health, you know, can help that. But let's move on to Atlanta Hawks 7-0. Haven't lost a game since February. Basically since Nate McMillan's taken over. What they're in sixth place now, I think it is. Back
Yeah, I
in the
believe so. I
playoffs.
haven't checked.
You think they going I think I'm pretty sure they're gonna hold on to it from now, because especially because everybody's healthy. You think they can maybe sneak into that fifth or fourth spot?
Def, Definitely maybe fifth. I think they might hold on to six though. I'm not surprised, as everyone gets healthy and the sense of urgency of your coach being fired. And then, you got to take in the fact that Trey, more so than John Collins, definitely Trey feeling snubbed of not making the All Star game. So let's go out here and hoop.
Also,
Everyone had
right.
a playoff team, and before those injuries started, they were in the playoffs. So I definitely think they can fight for that fifth, fourth spot, but I got them locked in at six.
Nah, yeah, about sixth, fifth. And I know when Nate first took over as the interim, he was saying, he don't want to do this long term, and this is just for now. You get a couple wins now in the playoffs. You think he changed his mind at the end of the year?
I don't think
I don't think he's gonna change his mind.
right. I don't think the issue with him is not wanting to do a long term. I think as a black man, a black coach, he didn't feel comfortable with Lloyd Pierce getting fired at the position that he was in, and he told him this is not what I came down here for. But you know, knowing that Lloyd Pierce gave him his blessing, I was surprised that if he kept the job because they're gonna offer it to him. But I just don't think he felt comfortable taking a job at that time because that he came down here to be Lloyd's assistant and watch Lloyd grow. So,
Right,
um, you know,
right.
he didn't want to see another.
Nah,
There's
yeah,
only
I
so many black
agree with
coaches, so
that.
he
No,
didn't want to see another. Hey, you went seven. You go 7-0 and don't lose since
right. Can't stand
February.
another
You like,
black
hey,
coach.
we might win the championship. No, not for real.
No, them facts. No, but not last night. The other night, you seen the NBA record for triple doubles in a single night was broken again with six.
It was broken with five, and then they followed it up another night. Say I did not
But
see
with
that.
six,
Wow.
yeah, they followed up with six, yeah, because what it was five. It was either last Saturday or Saturday before was five. It was six the other night. The Sabonis is a part of both of those.
Greatest player of all time, what it sounds like to me. No, but for real, he's such a skilled player that it's not surprising. He has his hands in everything.
No, yeah, them facts, and it's crazy that like I said, of course, again, it's just the skill of the NBA, and when that skill meet that talent, you get this type of production from these high level players. Honestly,
Exactly. And he's the best players in the world. And Demonte, we just saw him win the skills challenge, and he was a runner up last year. So you
no,
know
we
the
did
game
them
was there.
facts, them facts. So, nah, we know who his dad is, so the game was
Exactly.
always
Peter
gonna be there.
Sabonis is one of the best passing centers ever, one of the best passing players ever.
Ever. Right. Too bad. And shout out to Gonzaga, Demontis Sabonis alma mater, number one seed in the NCAA tournament. They got Eastern Washington in the first round, and those are real. They real close in location. So
Okay. It might be
that
deep
could
for
be
them.
that. Nah, yeah, that's a little more personal. I ain't gonna get too like I said. I ain't really been following college basketball. I ain't gonna get too close. I saw that and thought that was interesting though. So
Yeah,
shout out to
that's
Demontis Sabonis.
Gonzaga's I see is everybody's pick. I know Obama
Oh,
picked them to
so
win the championship. So
Obama picked him to win the championship.
yeah, he do his
When the
Final
last
Four
time
every
Obama
year.
got the pick right? When the last time he got the pick right? North Carolina.
I feel like it was North Carolina. I'm not sure though.
That's been a
But
long
I don't know
time
who he
then.
picked, right?
Or did he pick?
Well, not last year.
Oh, you feel back in the tournament? I seen their Twitter page kind of saying they were saying they didn't make you feel bad for Duke. You sad for Duke not making it? This don't
Man,
happen
Duke has been
often, so
dominating my whole life. They okay. They'll be take a year off.
take take a year off.
Yeah, they'll be
No, them
okay.
facts. No shout out to Georgia Tech
It's
again making the
weird
tournament,
though,
man.
I haven't followed.
What's that now?
I say it's weird that Duke isn't in the tournament though, just because you used to it. But shout out to the Tech for making the tournament though.
Yeah, no, them facts. So you about ready for your MVP list? Make it official. It's not too early in the season. We about we getting ready to gear up for this talk anyway. I know Embiid is gonna be out for a minute, but do you have an official five
But
yet? An official 3, 4?
I definitely have a top three with Embiid, LeBron, and Dame.
Ooh,
Those are my
I
top
like that
three.
3.
Uh, just because of what they've been doing all season. You have to I take into account all season. I don't care if you've been hooping for 2, 3 months if players have been hooping, carrying their teams or doing historic type things already. And Embiid has been scoring at a historic clip, 30 on 18 shots. LeBron has been
Right.
holding down the Lakers, no Anthony Davis. And Dame is doing what Dame always does. Two starters out, but they're in the top four. So those are my top three candidates.
Right. No, in fact, I know. Of course, NBA Twitter gearing up a Jimmy Butler MVP campaign. Do you think he belongs in there?
Nah, he ain't played enough games. Only way I could make Jimmy Butler my MVP is if Miami finish in the top three. They finish top three,
They're in the
then
top.
we got a conversation.
They're in the top four, right? They're in the top four right now.
They got to finish top three. Top four.
They got to finish top 3. Nah, I
Top
feel
three.
my,
Really,
my MVP. My
I really want to say top two, but I say top
top 3. No, that's top 3 is fair. Like I said, they right there at number 4. I know my MVP list is about the same as yours. Embiid, Bron, Dame. I had Kawhi and Steph at 4 or 5. I think it was. And that
three. Yeah.
nobody after those 5 really mattered in my opinion after that because you know Jokic has been impressive, but Jokic is still kind of. You got Kawhi 4.
Yeah.
You think Kawhi can ever win an MVP? Like how great would Kawhi have to be to win MVP? Like do you think he could ever have a season like that?
I think he could honestly. It would have to look similar to that Spurs year when he finished top three. High wins and then just getting his points up. I think this year was gonna be tough just because of the stuff from last year. So this year they're gonna have to literally have the best record in the league while he probably lead the league in scoring or something like that. But
Right.
I think Kawhi will get at least one MVP in his career.
No, yeah, I definitely think he can get one. Like I said, it would have to be that year. Is he gonna be able to play enough games to be that productive like that though? You think?
I think so. Excuse me. It doesn't seem like he's missed a lot of games this year. I might be mistaken. I don't feel like he's been really held out this year. I know he's missing games, but when I look up, he's playing. So I think he could. Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
No, yeah, definitely. Any wild card MVPs that you think just to make a late season push? What about Luka? Like
The
I know
wild card,
they gotta.
what you say?
I say, well, what about Luka? I see they got to win the other night against the Clippers. I'm liking how that's become a little mini rivalry type thing when they play those teams really get up for each other. But do you think Luka can
Yeah, they do.
maybe sneak into there?
I do. I actually would have Luca and Jimmy Butler as my wild cards. Those two, because I do want to acknowledge what Jimmy is doing because Miami looked terrible this year, and they definitely look better with him. And then just how Luca just the consistency of putting up numbers,
Right.
like Larry Jones, shout out Larry Jones. It just seems
Yeah.
like he puts up numbers every night, and he really, Dallas weren't where they expected to be in the standings earlier this year too, and I think Luca has put that on his shoulders. So, and there's definitely, I don't know, there's just something about playing Kawhi, Paul George, knowing all them defenders that's there that make Luca step up because he kills the Clippers, like he kills them, and they're a good defensive team.
No, yeah, he definitely does. Like I think he does. Like because it's a direct matchup. Like you gonna get one or the other on most possessions. So like I said, it's become a fun
Yeah,
little rivalry over these last 2 seasons. Honestly, I like Luca. Good. I think Luca gives the Clippers his best game every night. Like they played the Clippers 10 times, he gonna give them 45, 6
he
of
got
those nights.
40. Yeah, he gonna
Like
give
he
him 40.
just is. Oh,
Yeah, for sure.
who's really? I guess what team have you seen that's like really you think is gonna take a slip? I guess because like say you got those teams who gonna
Step forward.
you got those teams who finna start showing that they are contenders, Lakers, Clippers, I think Philly, Brooklyn, maybe Milwaukee can climb back up into it. But is there any team you see that was looking like a contender in the first half that might slip out of that?
Um, I mean that team has already exposed itself, and then we probably won't know
Boston,
to the
yeah,
playoffs. But just how Boston early in the season, they were in the top three in the East, and now it's like it's Boston gonna make the playoffs. So, um,
right.
but as far as the teams that are there, the only team I can say is Phoenix, just because they just got to prove themselves. I mean, at least we know Utah can make the playoffs. This is Phoenix's first time
That's
in the
fair.
playoffs. Utah has to
That's
prove that
fair.
they're a championship team, not even a playoff team. So, um, but I respect Phoenix's team this year. But I would say maybe them because their record said that they should be contenders. I mean,
Right. Like they're still in second place, right?
I believe so, but I have not checked, so I do want to say I have to check today.
Right. Phoenix is still that kind of that same to me, especially because like they're like a really good team, but nobody's like this hasn't really been Devin Booker's most productive season, especially his points. Though he's been more efficient this year. That's because of
Right,
Chris Paul. DeAndre
right.
Ayton hasn't necessarily taken off how people thought he would, but he has been having a solid season. Mikal
He's
Bridges
having
had, like I've
solid.
been saying, he's had the biggest, like yeah, he's had the biggest jump I think out of anybody, and that's because you can physically see, his defense and his shooting. But
I
I
agree.
think Phoenix is kind of like not necessarily like Utah, but it's like they're like built like Utah to where it's just team production, and then maybe their star player have a big night for 'em, whether that's Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, Chris Paul, one of those players.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so Phoenix is the one that has the most to prove to me. Just even for the fact that saying a solid playoff contender. And Utah's gonna have their fair share of prove too. But yeah, I would say Phoenix.
Utah got to prove it to me in the playoffs. Like I said, I know Utah can get there, but can they,
Exactly.
they up 3-1? Can they close that series out this year? And can they, finish some
Right.
teams in the playoff? Can Donovan Mitchell be efficient more in the playoffs than he really is in the regular season? Can that be consistent? Is Rudy Gobert gonna get pick and rolled off the court in the fourth quarter? Like all that little stuff like that. Yeah. Is Mike Conley gonna be the Is Mike Conley gonna be an All Star in the playoffs as well?
Exactly. Is he gonna continue to hoop? So yeah, I agree with all that.
Definitely. And you think I know Milwaukee has been kind of shaky this year. I know they haven't really taken off like they have over the last 2 years. You think Milwaukee can kind of catch Brooklyn or Philly, especially? I know they picked up a win
I'm
over
sure
Philly
they
the other night with Joel Embiid out. You think they can catch?
right,
Go ahead.
right, yeah, yeah. I'm sure they're hoping so. They're hoping that PJ Tucker trade helps them in some kind of way. But that definitely was a good win over Philly. No Joel Embiid, but they were down 18, I believe. And to come back and win that game,
Yeah, they
Giannis
were. They
had a
won
great
won in
game.
overtime.
Yeah, so
And
I don't think they're gonna catch one of them, but definitely trying to build blocks to be able to compete with them in the playoffs because they have the pieces to try to make it to the finals.
no, yeah. And just speaking of those pieces, just picked up PJ Tucker. They traded like I said, they trade DJ Augustine was a part of the trade. He was really their only other point guard on the team. They traded a lot of picks again. Milwaukee isn't too good at his trade thing, if you, in my opinion. That's how they trade draft picks away. But now, like I said,
Right.
Drew is the only point guard on the team. Honestly, I know they play Devin Chenko and Pat Connaughton there a bit. Chris Middleton handles the ball. Giannis handles the ball. Do you think PJ Tucker? How much over the top does PJ Tucker really help? Does he help a lot, a little bit, or is it just like it's just a trade?
So I'm guessing they expect PJ's gonna help defensively and then maybe knocking down some shots in the playoffs because
Right.
they've been devoid shot making. But I don't really know if PJ is what's gonna help. I hope he provides what he provides, but they really gonna need Giannis, Chris Middleton, and Drew particularly to step up in the playoffs. That's what you're really
No,
banking on.
no,
If you
definitely.
can get some production out of that bench. And I don't really like what they got with that bench, so maybe it's another move to be made. But they're trading all their assets, so
All right,
it's not that
hey,
they're trading all their assets, but they're trading them all and not getting stuff back. I'm not for teams that just collect assets. And I'm not for teams that just trade everything and the trades don't make sense. So it's like it's
no, yeah, I
weird,
agree
but
with that.
yeah,
No, yeah, it's
yeah.
definitely
So.
weird. But I know too, like I say, I don't like I know a lot of people handle the ball and start the offense for him, but having Drew as your only point guard, I don't know how much that really helps the offense. And I get the PJ Tucker trade because he's another defender. Like you go against Brooklyn, you're gonna need defenders on the court. Philly, you're gonna need some defenders and some extra fouls on the court. So I guess defensive wise, it makes a little bit of sense. But who
Right.
knows? I know I seen another trade rumor out. It was, of course, it's been big talks about the Warriors maybe trading for Oladipo, and Houston been asking for one of their big assets that either been the Minnesota pick or James Wiseman. If you're the Warriors, do you trade either one of those for Victor Oladipo? Yeah, for Depot.
Oladipo?
Of course, you're gonna
Nah,
get other things back, but nah.
James
You
Wiseman
already
is
slammed
a
the door.
James Wiseman is a definite no, and that pick, yeah, I got to be getting a current All Star player, not a
Nah,
former All Star player, All Star player coming off injury. Depot's not worth that. Couldn't do it.
no, yeah,
Unless it's gonna be,
I
you
feel
can give me
Christian
Christian
Wood
Wood.
nah, yeah, you throw Christian Wood in there, you can get one of those. Nah, yeah, I feel. I definitely agree with
You
that.
throw
And
Christian
of
Wood in
course, you
there, you
can't.
got that pick.
We can start talking. You throw Christian Wood in there, yeah, definitely. I ain't closing the door in your face no more. But Depot, you can kind of, especially because Depot has kind of been injury prone over the last couple months, so you don't even know if you're gonna have Depot in there every night. So
Exactly.
it's like you don't necessarily want to get that up for an injury. A player on the last year of his contract who might not sign back with you. Depot's also looking to get paid. Are you breaking bank for Depot and the Warriors?
All right,
If you make that trade, is also another thing you have to think about.
exactly. And it's not like trading for Depot is gonna guarantee you a championship this year or even finals run. So he's not worth it.
Right. Like you get Depot, you definitely make the playoffs, but you're not getting out the first round. I don't think you're getting out the first round because you added Depot to your team. For those Depot that
Nah,
is.
not happening.
And in other trade news, I heard a very interesting. It's not interesting because I don't think the fit has really matched up how a lot of people thought it would either. But LeVar Ball, shout out to him. His sons LaMelo and Lonzo, NBA players. And Jello was picked up by the G League once the Detroit situation was also figured back out for G League. But he was saying that Lonzo can't stay in New Orleans because of the fit, and a lot of it is Lonzo sitting in the corner shooting threes. But he is, Lonzo is a true point guard. Do you think the fit has? How do you think the fit's been working? Because Lonzo has been having his best season so far, especially behind the 3-point line.
My thing with Lonzo is it always when is it always it's always like it's an issue. It's a fit. I saw that LeVar said that he hates it in New Orleans, and Lonzo's having
No, that was a misquote. Like whoever
year.
tweeted that was wrong. That's not what he said. That's not what he said. He said he can't stay there.
Was it a misquote? Okay, all right, I'll take that back.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, that's my fault. I didn't know that was a misquote. So definitely I take that back. But it got to come down to Lonzo just putting it together too, because they do put the ball in his hands. Obviously, Zion, they're trying to, make him be a playmaker or just show his playmaking skills. To put him at the top of the key and play downhill. So Lonzo do get put in the corner some, but I don't think it's a bad fit with him there in New Orleans. But if we're saying that Lonzo needs to go somewhere where he's gonna be a full time point guard, we've seen that. Now he's probably grown, so maybe he could be better. But I think he can make
Right.
it work in New Orleans. There's already pieces there they'll block to have a great career. And Lonzo just had to show
No, yeah,
consistency though,
definitely.
because when they put the ball in his hands, it seems like he plays
That
worse.
whole team
But when he
does.
right, but when he plays how he is now, where he occasionally had the ball, I mean, you put it in Zion's hands and Brandon Ingram's hands, and he's making more threes than Young this year. So, but I know there's talk that the new
And those
big
aren't two
talk.
bad players that had the ball in the hand. In.
Right, yeah. So,
Extra
I think
league need a
Lonzo
point
should
guard,
grow
but
with the
I wouldn't.
Pelicans.
I don't think. No, yeah, let that team grow together. You got two All Stars. You got two All Stars already, and Brandon Ingram, Zion, Lonzo. If his numbers keep going up, there's always a spot. Maybe he can earn an All Star spot some year. Stan Van Gundy might not
Right,
be the eventual coach to get him there, but he has. But how he lets Zion play, and like you say, trying to get him comfortable as a playmaker, he's clearly been teaching them the game, how to play in the NBA and how to be productive, which is showing their numbers this
right.
year,
Lonzo,
especially
man, he just got to get
Zion
that consistency
is
up.
25 or 60. No, yeah, definitely. Like I said, that's what all of them. That's just not numbers. That's just in game aggressiveness. Just
Right.
being aware where you're at on the court and all, just everything that goes into being in the NBA. Other than that, you got anything else for
Yeah. No, that's it. Other than that for today, appreciate everyone for the checking out the remote episode. Hopefully we ain't wasn't too crazy. I know it was going in and out, but shout out to everyone that watches, and everyone that listens. You got the Hoopers Morning Run. We be here every Friday morning, as y'all know. So 9 a.m. Excuse me, on the Off the Ball Network Facebook page.
now on the Hoopers Twitter page as well and on YouTube page. Can't forget that. So
Yeah,
y'all can check
yeah,
us
I
on
forgot
either
about
one of
that.
those now as well.
Forgot about that. We multiple streaming areas. So catch us on YouTube, Twitter, and Off the Ball Facebook for sure.
Other than that, I'm John W.
It's Fresh X.
And this was the Hoopers Morning Run location remote.
Later, players.